Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Render. We've had some nice gains on this one recently, and we're going to be talking about whether we think that this is going to continue or whether we actually think this is coming towards an end here. So we're going to talk about a couple of options, both the bullish and the bearish aspects of this move. There isn't a lot of price history as we can see, so we need to just be aware that we could actually see further continuation to the downside, as well as the possibility that we could actually look for a breakout if we do maintain some key areas. So we're going to discuss all these things within the video, so make sure you stay tuned. Also, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff now. So basically, in the last time we were looking for this video, we're looking for this fourth wave, and I'm going to come down here into the smaller time frame, and let's just make this. There we go. Effectively, what we were looking for here was the potential to come down in this fourth wave, and for the most part, we actually have come down into the zone. So we could actually be starting to progress up for this fifth wave to the upside here. And what we'd be looking for is basically somewhere around the zone of this $3.05 to this 248.2. So this is a, $3 is going to be an important psychological level if we do continue to move up here. And effectively what we can argue is there's a few things we can look at within this structure. Because for the most part at the moment it just looks corrective, we could argue that potentially we could be forming a triangle here. And what I'd be looking for within this move would be something like this. We obviously have to give it a bit of space here, but what we'd be looking for is the potential that we could argue that we have this as an A wave down into this low, this is a B, looking for a C, D, and an E. So this is looking for a bigger triangle. So technically, if we still break down here and potentially come back down to retest this trend line here, we could look for the C wave being lower down here. We can also argue, however, that this triangle could be much smaller. And what we'd then be looking for is the potential that we have something like this. So, this is something that can still play out, and we need to just bear in mind that this is a possibility. So within this, effectively, I've got this drawn out. I don't know why I'm redrawing it. If we move below this $1.687, this would invalidate this potential of having the smaller triangle like we have here. And then, like I said, we'd be looking for that C wave to come down deeper here, potentially retest this trend line. Alternatively, if we actually take this A wave low here at $1.27, it would actually invalidate this count. So we couldn't look at this as triangle anymore if we break this low point. But for as long as we hold above it, we can argue that we could, like I said, see this come back down here. It's the wrong one. Let's try that again. Basically as a B, and a C. This is a three-wave move up, and then looking for another three-wave move down for a D wave, for an E wave, and then actually looking to push up for this fifth. So, for the most part, we can argue that we are looking for this. If we do, however, start to hold this low point here of this $1.687, and actually from this point, we start to form impulsive movement to the upside, where we get a five-wave move, something like this, to the upside here, and potentially looking to come back up and retest this channel line. I mean, depending on how long this takes, this would take us right into that $3 area. So it could be quite an interesting zone. Like I said, we are looking to potentially come up here and look for this fifth wave still. So if we do maintain this low here at $1.687, effectively what I'd be looking for is that potential to actually look to progress up here. We would have to argue this is a 1-2-1-2, and then we'd actually want to break back above this high point here and start to get some bigger impulsive movement to the upside. So if we're looking at the triangle, what we'd want to see is a nice clean move off of the current structure above this $2.13, and we want to see that basically play out and push to the upside here with good five-wave structure. Then we can argue we would have an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what we would be looking for is basically to see this bigger 1, 2 play out, and then holding this low point of this $1.78 if it had to happen from this location. Like I said, we could come down a little bit more here. Wouldn't want to cross this 1687 though. So that's basically what I'm looking at as a triangle. So we're going to discuss some other bullish potential here, which would be, we could argue that we could be looking at something rather like this. So if we do actually break down here, I'm going to just remove this for the time being. We can also argue that potentially we have something like this playing out, where we actually have a 1, and a 2 is a flat, and then looking at this as an additional leg to the upside. So we could either argue that this would be 1, 2, 3, looking for a fourth, and then one more push up for a fifth. Or alternatively, we could look at this as 1, 2, 1, 2 potentially. This could be completed here. If it is completed into that zone, effectively the third wave would actually look to push up towards us $3.39, in which case we would then be looking for some additional structure here, looking to actually push up a bit higher, possibly towards that $4.36 to that $4 range. So this is something that can still play out. If we lose this $1.51 zone, it becomes less likely. And like I said, we just need to be mindful that we could potentially look at this as a 1, 2, 3, up into here, 4, and then just have a fifth wave up. If we just have that move as we have it described there, effectively what we'd be looking for would be a target around this $2.47 to this 2263. So this could be a zone we actually look to push up into here. And that would satisfy a fifth wave if we did push back up into this zone. So, we need to see how this plays out. Like I said, it could just move range bound here and become a triangle, and then we haven't even started this fifth wave. Alternatively, we could see this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for that fifth up into this 1618, 1236 zone, and then looking for that breakdown from there. What we'd be looking for if we're looking for bullish structures, once we complete this third wave, to actually break down for that fourth wave that we were looking at previously, and we're going to go over a few things there. Before we do that though, the alternative here is we could also argue, if we want to look at this move slightly different, is we can argue that potentially this could be a 1, 2, 3, looking for a fourth for a diagonal pattern. So I do have this bottom trend line here marked out. It is possible we could actually see it drop down to this and it becomes a much wider move, but the problem is these diagonals are not very reliable, so we need to, I actually want to see this start to take off now for this fifth wave. If we're looking at it from this current location, what we would actually want to see is a push up past this $2.61 to confirm, and we'd want to see that happen in three wave structure, something like this. So for the time being, we don't really have that structure in play, so we need to just be careful at the moment, trying to force a interpretation on it. If this is just not completed yet, this wave 2 could actually come down lower. So the support zone, we'd be looking for that. If we're looking for this still as a wave 2, like I said, as a 1, 2, 1, 2, would be actually lower down here, and we could actually come down and retest some of these key points. The 618 area would be this $1.629, or alternatively higher up here would be this 50%. We could look to make a double bottom here potentially, and then look to push up from there. So these are all possibilities within the current structure. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking for within this. After completion, if we do get this fifth wave, what we want to see is, if we are looking for this bullish potential here, we'd want to see a retracement back into this previous fourth wave location, but not actually crossing this wave 1 high at $1.17. So this is why ideally we would want this to extend out a bit here and potentially maybe move up higher into this channel line, because then we'd have space for that fourth and that fifth. If we had to complete into this box, the lower end of this box, there wouldn't be a lot of space between this wave 1 and wave 1 and 3. It would have met the requirement, but basically what we would have then is the possibility that we'd have to have a very sideways fourth wave then. Otherwise, it would be in danger of actually coming down into this wave 1 position. So we wouldn't really want to see this lose this $1.249 area, given the current structure. The alternative we need to be aware of, like I said, is the potential that when we complete this 5-wave move, we actually break down. So we're gonna have to sort of watch this and see how this reacts at these high points. If we start to lose this fourth wave low, it becomes less likely that we have an additional fourth and fifth, and as well as soon as we cross that $1.79 area. The last zone of support, if we did have to lose that, would potentially be lower down here. And what we'd be looking for, if I can just get this onto this low point, there we go. Off of the current structure, would be a move back down towards this 93 cent. Lower range would be this 57 cent. But what we could, like I said, see is actually we just come back down, potentially look to retest some of these key zones. This 78 cent would be quite interesting, as well as the potential to move into this channel. If it was more sideways, you know, potentially that would be somewhere we could look to move into. Okay, so the other possibility we're looking at, just in a, because obviously we're looking at a few things here, you know, if we do start to break down, because we haven't actually taken this highway, this move here, and we haven't actually confirmed that bullish structure yet. So, you know, it's not been confirmed. So we could actually just see this actually break down from here. So for as long as we don't move across this $2.19, we need to bear in mind we could actually still see a progression to the downside. So this is a key level. We want to take this high and then basically look for the possibility of this third wave to play out. Otherwise, we have to look for the possibility of this third wave to play out potentially. This could also just move down in a three-wave move as an A, a B, and a C to this yellow line area, which would be 1 to 1, which would be this $1.25. So, you know, we could actually move down one more time in a leg here, and it still be part of that fourth wave correction, and then we look to push up. There are a few options, but we need to be cautious. If we start to break down deep, this 89 cents area, that would be a zone we could typically look for confirmation of a third wave. If we do move past down this 1.618, it becomes more likely that we're going to get this fourth and fifth to the downside. So we would have to monitor this, obviously. But once again, we wouldn't have a lot of space here between this wave 1 and this wave 3. So we'd have to just see how it actually plays out. This would have to become more of a sideways move than a deep move. But effectively moving past that $1.25 makes it less likely that we are following this this bearish count. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below as well. In the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Once you in there, just in the general chat area, just add mention a member of staff. Will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description, you'll also find affiliate links for both BYBIT and PrimeXPT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.